All right, everyone, welcome back to the ASL YouTube channel. Today, for you guys, we have the ASL Season 3 Relicanth Division, the Paldea Decks League. We have the draft analysis. Draft concluded a couple days ago. Some games have already started. I think we have 2 games in the books right now, but we have a draft analysis for you guys. I'm Hutch, joined here with...
It's me.
It's Brett.
TCP.
It's not TCP.
It's not
TCP's in
TCP.
this league. Welcome back, TCP. ASL
Yeah.
legend.
Favorite
So...
panda.
What?
I said our favorite panda.
Not when I'm in finals, but other
You're a
than that,
panda?
yes. Yeah. So we're going to be doing this. I'm gonna ignore that. We're gonna be doing this in reverse order. We have 16 coaches this time, up from 12. No longer a Wi-Fi league, like I said. This is a Paldea Deck Showdown league. Yeah, we're gonna start here with the Milwaukee Bewares. Full disclosure: Brett and I have nothing planned. We threw this together in about 7 minutes or
Well, Hutch
less.
threw it together. I just sat here and looked at the doc.
You were here for moral sport, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna just start here with the Milwaukee Bewares. They were the 16th pick in the draft. Um, we're doing it in reverse order because that's the easiest way to do it visually. So deal with it. Yeah, so we have the Milwaukee Bewares here, coached by Fuzzy. Actually coached in the Showdown League. I think it was. I'm not gonna pull up the Pokedex, but I
Long
think
time ago.
yeah, I think it was like season like 11 or 12 or something like that. Maybe later than that. I don't know. So he's like been in the ASL before, um, been in the server for a while, helps us out with Mon of the Week, so shout out to you, Fuzzy. But yeah, so he started out the draft getting Raging Bolt and Ogerpon on the wheel, which this team is pretty good. And like I said, we have nothing prepared, so we're gonna make the rankings as we speak. So we might just like ramble for a while. So this roster obviously looks fairly offensive. Um, Raging Bolt and Ogerpon was a runner-up core. Malone had it last season, losing in the finals to Brad. Let me read off his Terra types real quick. He has Drift Blim with Ghost, something that's not showing up in Water. Mesprit with Psychic, Steel, and Fire, and Revivroom with Steel, Flying, and Grass. So I think the main deal with this team, like I said, it's very offensive. Like you have ideas with like Sun, Ogerpon, Raging Bolt, great abusers. But then you also have some solid defense in terms of like Sylveon and Uxie, or not Uxie, Mesprit, though I would have liked Uxie on this team. So a lot of like there's a lot of tempo on this team, a lot of like pivoting, a lot of high offense, really really good hazard control, especially for Paldea. Um, Trust me, mine's not good. So yeah, overall, we're gonna give this like an A through F scale. I'd probably give this team like a B, in the B range, maybe B minus, because I would kind of prefer a little bit more defense, but that's just kind of preference. Like I would have preferred like a bulky grass because I think ground types kind of run through this team outside of like like a levitating Mesprit. So I think a bulky grass would have been better than Whimsicott. But overall, this is a really scary offensive team, so I like it overall.
Yeah. Whenever I look at this, it is a very offensive team, and as personal preference, I don't like having my like best offensive mon capping at 110 speed.
Good point.
Especially whenever it can't run an item. Good thing about Ogerpon though is it does have Trailblaze, so it can boost its speed pretty easily. So that's always something to note. Um, I don't know what it is about Whimsicott, but I hate the Pokemon. And I keep drafting it for some reason.
It's the
Don't know why.
typing. It's the typing and the speed. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I keep drafting it, doing horrible with it, but I keep drafting it. So it's there. Um, yeah, I would probably give this team a B minus, mainly due to the fact that while Ogerpon's a really good offensive mon, um, and you can't really sleep on Ogerpon at all, especially in Sun, because that thing's just gonna kill everything. I'd probably give it a B minus because I don't like the team capping at 110 offensively.
Yeah, that's a fair point. There's not a lot of like super fat bulk to this team outside of like Sylveon Swampert. I mean, Torkoal's not bad, but the lack of recovery is a little unfortunate. So yeah, overall a solid team to start it off. And moving on to the next one, do you want to take this one?
Uh, it's TCP that's next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next one, we got TCP, pick number 15 in the draft. His team is actually really solid, as usual. TCP usually drafts solid teams, but he does have Landwhelmer. I do like that pick. This is the first thing I saw. I always love Landwhelmer. It's a good Pokemon. He got some good value with Sneasler at 16. He got that. I don't think he picked that up like really early in the draft. Did he? I don't remember.
I think it was his round one.
It was his round one?
Yes, I think so because I think he went Sneasler plus Gliscor. I'm gonna scroll down and look. Sneasler plus Gliscor, yeah.
Okay. I guess because we have so many coaches, I felt like it went later. But yeah.
It's usually like fringe when it goes.
Yeah, Sneasler going at this pick pretty decent because it's such a good mon in this format. He did end up picking up Darkrai, which
Fraud.
Hutch has all the good things to say about that Pokemon, but TCP definitely can make use of the Darkrai pretty well. I can assure you. Don't sleep on Phalanx either. That thing gets no retreat. And yeah,
It's a Terra Captain too.
it's a Terra Captain, and it's gonna kill some people 100%. Tinkaton is always good as a utility Pokemon. Great typing. I think a 9-point value. It's pretty value for this Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's overpriced or underpriced. I think it's actually, if anything, it is a 10, like maybe 1 point underpriced. But yeah, Tinkaton's good, and Gliscor is always good defensively.
Yeah. What's your grade?
Oh yeah. I'd probably give it an A.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'm a little bit lower on this draft. I think it does check most boxes. I'm a little annoyed that I got sniped on the Serena. That's my own fault because I took Chestnut originally, so I kind of screwed myself. Darkrai's a fraud. We all know it. I mean, I've thought it's slightly less of a fraud because people actually like put it in like good offensive cores and they don't think it can solo the world. So I think Darkrai is actually like good in this team because Sneasler is like kind of the perfect partner. I will say I'm probably giving this draft like a B plus. Like I think it has like a lot of good things. What holds me back from it being an A is I'm like 90% convinced that he got sniped on Kyurem. Like Kyurem like got taken like pretty late. And he doesn't have a dragon on the team. And Darkrai kind of seemed like a spur of the moment type of pick. I really think he got sniped on Kyurem, which at that point, I don't know why you wouldn't take backs for 17 points. But either way. Overall, I think this is like a very TCP team. Played him a lot. I think I played him 8 times in the ASL. Gliscor Slowking, everyone please prep for this. It will just beat you down. This is how TCP plays the game. He's going to go back and forth. He's going to whittle you down. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes, maybe 1 to 2 a game. So you can't let him take the tempo. And I think this is a perfect team for him to be able to take tempo. Like you said, Phalanx is actually like a really sick Terra Captain. He has Fighting, Ghost, and Steel on that. He also has Titan with Ice, Ghost, and Water. And then Oricorio, phenomenal Terra Captain, with Flying, Ground, and Steel. So I think he absolutely hit a home run on the Terra Captains. I think all of his low tier picks, they provide something to the team. Flareon, Dusknoir, Phalanx, all really good. Like I said, this just has a really, really, really good blend of offense. It has a good blend of defense. No, I'll put it in an A minus. I'll put it in an A minus. I do think that the team is slightly worse for not having a dragon defensively because it kind of gets blown up by fire types. But at the end of the day, it has a really good blend of everything else. Like if he had a dragon type, I would probably be giving this an A or an A plus. So I'll give it an A minus. All right. Moving on to the next team. Go ahead and edit this real quick. Do you want to start on this one too? Because I'm after this.
Yeah, this is his team name Garza and Michael?
That's the team name. It's the Garza and Michael experience, I think, but I had to shorten it.
Oh.
This is Bandit.
This is Bandit. Yeah. This is Bandit.
It's a very unique team name.
I can't help but think about the game that we were watching just a second ago, but I'm not going to talk about that. Speaking of Bandit, there was a match playing as we're recording this. But yeah, he got Terapagos, Tinglu. Those things are wild defensively. It looks like he drafted
And
Stall
offensively.
and offensively. just looking at it, I see Terapagos, Tinglu, Sinatcha, Clefable, and I cry because you have to prep for all of those, and I don't wanna.
It's so real.
Yeah.
So real.
um. Yeah, I probably give this thing a solid B because outside of like Ogre Pond Wellspring, it's lacking some breaking. I feel like. Um, while I say that, a thing happened in the game that we were just watching that was breaking things that I didn't think could break things very well. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Um,
But
I
anyway,
w-
yeah, I'd probably just give this a solid B.
yeah, I'm probably gonna lean towards a B. Like I think Terapagos at 15 is pretty good value. I think we did a good job valuing that. I think in the first round it's kind of shocking to see it. I guess. Um, but yeah, I think overall this is like a pretty solid team. The one thing I will say is it lacks pivoting for my taste. Like Terapagos doesn't get pivoting, Tinglu doesn't get pivoting, Sinistra doesn't get pivoting, Clefable in this format doesn't get pivoting because he can't use teleport. So the only like bulky pivot is kind of like Moltres, which I think this team has a lot of like type overlaps. Like there's like 3 grass types, there's 3 electric types. Like I feel like it's a little bit exploitable. There's no bulky water. Um, so I think fire types absolutely run a train on this team. You have 3 grass types, and your water doesn't resist fire. Your 2 resistances are Golem and Moltres. Moltres good defensively. Don't get me wrong. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna probably give this a B, maybe a B minus. I'll go B minus just to be different. Um, yeah, I think like you said, it lacks a lot of breaking power outside of Ogre Pawn, so maybe we don't have a lot of breaking power on the special side. But it's overall a really bulky team, like probably the best hazard control in the league. Um, I mean, the fact that you have Terapagos, which is such a willing rapid spinner, and the fact that you have Tinglu for hazards, you have Ogre Pawn for hazards, like this is overall a really, really solid team. Just I feel like there's some overlapping that kind of gets it exploited. Oh wait, let me pull up the terrace here so we can just reference that real quick. Sinistra is grass, poison, and fairy. Golem is electric, water, and grass. And Toxicroak is fighting, fire, and ghost. So overall, perfectly fine. I am a little confused why we didn't go Electrode over Toxicroak, but that's okay. That's fair. Sinistra's a really good captain, and Toxicroak isn't bad. So yeah, I'll give this one a B minus. So overall, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Then moving on to the next team, as I foreshadowed before, we have my team, the Miami Dolphinions. So basically, there was a lot of things that I wanted in this draft. I got, well, 2 of them in the first 2 rounds. Went ahead and started with Galarian Slowking and Ursuline Blood Moon. I haven't tried Slowking since Gen 8. I haven't tried Blood Moon at all. Wanted to give those a try. Blood Moon is my favorite type of Mon. You go in, you don't use your brain, you click the button because it just nukes everything. But I will say some issues with this team. It has maybe some defensive weaknesses, like my bulky water is bulky water in air quotes is Poliwrath, which isn't terrible. It's like 90 across the board in all stats, but it's not lighting the world on fire or anything. The hazard control is a bit lacking. Like for most of the draft, it was just Cinderace. Added Braviary down the line. Let me pull up my Terra captains real quick because I obviously don't have them memorized. Miss Magius has Ghost, Fairy, Fire. Electrode has Electric, Ice, Fairy. And then Braviary is normal, Fairy, Steel. And the big theme you'll notice there is I don't have a Fairy type. So I have 3 Fairy Terra captains. So I think this team is a little bit susceptible, like defensively, to a lot of things. But again, the three Fairy Terra captains, Orthworm is a really, really good dragon answer because it's immune to ground. But the overall theme of this team is just enabling the fuck out of Blood Moon. Like, we have Shed Tail, we have Healing Wish from Shaman, we have Chilly Reception from Slowking Galar. Um, like, there's enough hazard control, like with Orthworm setting up hazards and like Cinderace having some court change shenanigans. So I think overall this is like maybe not one of my favorite teams that I've drafted. I'm probably giving it like a B plus, just because I think it has some defensive deficiencies, but I think the offense is like insane. Like Blood Moon, Cinderace, Hydra, with the supportive power of Orthworm and Slowking and Shaman and Beartick in the back is pretty good for like a 4 point captain. So I think overall it's a pretty solid team. Like I said, just defensive deficiencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give it a B, I guess. B plus. B plus? B. B. But yeah, you basically said everything about your team. I Blood Moon go burr. Do a lot of things. It gets Moonlight, it gets Vacuum Wave, which is nice. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Drew.
That is all.
That is all.
Lovely Duosion.
Duosion?
On the screen is Duosion because it was his 11th round pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lost my complete train of thought.
That was a little confusing, sorry.
I don't know where I was starting now. Iron Bundle.
Yeah.
I wanted Bundle. See, okay.
Have you never had it?
No, I've never had Bundle.
Damn, bro.
I did want Bundle. I thought maybe it could come back to me, but I knew Meowscarada wouldn't come back to me.
No.
But he took Bundle. And he has Scizor. I'm tired.
All right, you collect your thoughts. So this is a pretty standard core that I've seen a lot. I've seen like Scizor Garchomp, obviously. Torrentee, that's classic. I've seen Bundle paired with Garchomp a lot. So this is like a very like standard core that I've seen a lot. I'm gonna give it a B plus, just because I think the offense is ridiculous. It's maybe lacking a little bit in the defensive side of things. But looking at his Terra captains, he has Electivire with Electric Flying Water, Regirock with Rock Steel Water, and then Flapple with Grass Dragon Fire. So I think overall, okay Terra captains. I'm a little confused on the Evire ones, I'll be honest. We didn't do Fairy or Ice. I understand no Ice because slow electrics using Ice Terra is like kind of bad in my opinion. Because Ice is obviously like, and Evire is not slow, but like not like super fast. Regirock doesn't have Fairy either. Which again, you have a good Fairy type, but I think Terra Fairy is just like so good offensively and defensively. Like I don't know why we aren't doing it. And both two of Flapple's Terras are the Terra types, which I don't think Terra Grass is good at all. But that's maybe just me. And then I think getting Duosion and not Terra Captaining it is kind of a waste. I'm sure there was better Psychic types, so maybe I'm not going to give it a B plus. I take it back. I'm giving it a B because I think it's a really, really standard offensive core that works really, really well. A little bit of defensive deficiencies. I think the Terra captains were a little bit messed up, but I do love Terra Flapple. Terra Flapple for 2 points is kind of insane. As long as you can look past the hustle, pretty good. This team also has extremely good hazard control, which again, we can't say that about like a ton of the teams. So I think Bundle's going to feast in this. I think he has a little bit issues breaking water types because that's usually the main thing that Bundle struggles with, or just like huge special walls. He can deal with the special walls with Garchomp and Scizor. But yeah, I think Drew's got a pretty solid team for himself here. Yeah, well, it'll just come down to how he can deal with those defensive deficiencies, which we saw in the game. I don't know how the game ends, but I saw the first 5 turns, and it was 6-5 after turn 1 for reference. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I really like Incineroar on his team. I think it's going to
True.
facilitate a lot of Iron Bundle's success, especially with Parting Shot. Um, he has Hitmontop. It rapid spins, I think. Does it still
That's
rapid spin?
Yep, and that's all it does.
Yep, it rapid spins.
Enough of Hitmontop.
Enough of Hitmontop. I'd give it probably B. Same with Touch.
Yeah, this is
And
just like a standard solid Gen 9 team.
I don't know where my brain's going.
Your brain is going to the
I was
next
fine
team.
for the first 2 or 3, and then now I'm not.
Lock in. We got 16 teams here. We got 11 to go.
Fuck.
Start us off with the Duke Blue Jays.
We got Cricket. He's been with us for 2 seasons. And he has Urshifu Single Strike, which we haven't seen in a little bit. We banned Wicked Blow, right?
Nope.
Fuck.
Dude, it's never been banned, and it hasn't been picked until this season.
Interesting.
So dumb.
Cricket gets to use Wicked Blow Urshifu for the first time in Relicanth.
I wanted this Mon. I wanted this Mon.
I honestly really like Cricket's team. I feel like this is something that I would probably draft, at least nowadays. I think with his team, he could probably make really good use of the Iron Treads.
Oh, yeah.
Gyarados is so scary as a Terra Captain. I think I probably would have liked having a ground typing on it. Like Electric and Dragon are fine, but I feel like one of those should have been a ground.
I agree. Probably the Electric, because, I mean, I guess if you want to break water types.
Yeah. And then I hope we see some really good things from Sneasel, because while Sneasel Hisui wasn't around when I was using Sneasel, I did have it as a kill leader on my team once upon a time, regular Sneasel. But yeah, I want to see Sneasel Hisui do some things. I maybe would have liked to see that as the lower tier Terra Cap. But I mean, War Turtle can do things with like Shell Smash and stuff, so there's that.
Did you give it a grade? I can't
B plus.
B plus, cool. I'm gonna let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do B plus too. No, I'm gonna give it an A minus because I like a lot of the things on this team. So about the Terra Captains, I'm okay that he didn't do Sneasel. I think Sneasel Hisui is ridiculously good. The biggest issue is it doesn't get U-turn. It breaks my heart because I would just draft that thing. It's basically just like a Sneasler Light without the Unburden. But yeah, I think he gets really good use out of his Terra Captains, other than the fact that, again, I would have preferred Gyarados to have either ground or water, because I think like water just to nuke something would be good. But yeah, phenomenal Terra Captain, Vikavolt with Electric, Steel, and Ghost. Pretty good overall. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm going to give this a minus just because I think Single Strike, I don't understand why it hasn't been drafted. I wanted it in this draft, but he took it, 2 picks before me. And I was going to try and get Single Strike plus Glow King. But yeah, I think he has phenomenal offense, like Urshifu, Saraledge, Vikavolt with webs with Single Strike in a format where removal is harder to come by. Stupid. He gets Iron Treads, which I'm starting to like, just like 1-to-1 more than Tusk, just because I think what it brings as a supportive Mon is just not really like comparable to anything other than Tusk. But obviously that Steel type is so good. Yeah, I think he did a really good job in the lower tiers. I like Go-Goat. I like Sneasler. Or not Sneasler, Sneasel Hisui. I like Appleton. I like War Turtle for what it gives you, like a bulky water when you have Gyarados. Because now you have something that resists ice. Because you were really, really struggling with that. Because your Steel type is neutral to ice. Your Water type is neutral to ice. It was really just Saraledge. So I'm not the biggest Enamorous fan. I think Enamorous Therian is probably better for the points. But I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen the light on Enamorous. I just can't get past the fact that it's only 106 speed and doesn't have a pivot move. I don't know. yeah, I think overall this is like a ridiculously strong team. Urshifu single is something you have to usually put 1 to 2 mons. Yeah, usually 2 mons for in the prep phase. So I think this team is really awesome. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I think it did really good top to bottom. I just think maybe some defensive deficiencies, even though I think Uxie is ridiculous after the pain split buff. So overall, I really like this team. And then moving on to the next team, we have. You can take this one away.
It's me.
It's you.
I'm back. I came back specifically to have the chance to fight TCP, and I don't even get to fight TCP. So
Get fucked, loser.
But yeah, my thought process going into this draft, I really wanted to try Meowscarada again. I drafted it once before in my first Wi-Fi league that I quit because like over half the roster quit the league, and then I'm just like, well, they're replacing everybody, and I don't have the motivation for this anymore, so I quit as well. But yeah, I wanted to use Meowscarada again. That's the whole premise of this. It's insane. It's honestly, I think it's better Greninja nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went and built the team around that. So I got Meowscarada. Next pick, I think, was Goldingo?
Yeah,
I think
Goldingo.
Yeah, went Goldingo next. It helps a lot. Denies like statuses, denies hazard removal and things, and it hits really hard, especially, and it's Goldingo. You know what Goldingo does. You can talk.
Man, this is your own team. Crafted it with your own bare hands.
See, I had a lot of help crafting this team.
Okay, fair. Shout out to Brad.
Yeah, Brad helped me. Belly Bolt's cool.
Dude, my goat.
That's gonna be fun to use. I've really wanted to use Belly Bolt, and I think this team is really nice for Belly Bolt.
You didn't make it a Terra Captain, but
It's okay. So listen here. I had like 7 things on this team that would be really good Terra captains.
same.
So like Braviary 100% needed to be a Terra captain.
Yes, I'm not gonna argue that.
Avalug, I feel like 100% needs to be a Terra captain.
That's true. There's
And then I was kind of left with a 5-pointer. So it was between Charizard. Initially, I was thinking Charizard, but then I was like, I have Keldeo as my water type, so I kind of just want budget Rotom Wash. So we have Budgem Rotom Wash with Rotom Fan with Water Terra. So yeah.
I'm gonna give this a B, I think. Shout out to you drafting 4 flying types, by the way. Holy shit.
Hey, we're good. We're good.
Do not bring Earthquake against this man. He's going to have an Air Balloon Goldango, too.
I'm also going to have Air Balloon Rotom Fan. You're not even ready.
Fuck yeah. That's the Ranbats classic. But yeah, so I think this is like a really good team. Really good offensive ideas here. Meowscarada is just phenomenal. Putting it with Goldango allows it to be a little bit scarier when it comes to getting hazards up, which I think your hazard control is solid. Does Braviary Hisui get defog?
I think.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of trolling
it
does. Use it, but I mean,
I know Rotom doesn't get it, that's for sure.
No, unfortunately. I would have drafted it if it did, because then I wouldn't have drafted Braviary. Because ironically, I had Granbull and Rotom Fan on my plan like halfway through the draft, but then had to pivot when I realized I had no removal. But yeah, Keldeo is something I've wanted to try since it got buffed. It got Vacuum Wave, it got Flip Turn, and Calm Mind, I believe, were the 3. I mean, I think it got Flip Turn last gen, but still. Keldeo is like a really interesting piece that I would like to see play out. Braviary Hisui, we saw in Love Disc, Shadow dominated with it in like season 17. Yeah, season 17. As a Terra Captain, it just agilityed and just started nuking everything. As Sheer Force? Yeah, I think it gets Sheer Force. So yeah, overall, like a good team. Like this is like a little bit of Gen 6 Blast for the past. Keldeo, Lando T ideas. I think it lacks a little bit on the defensive side. I think Landorus or Goldango are going to maybe be forced to be a little bit more defensive some weeks, but there's a lot of tempo on this team. There's a lot of pivoting to where I think you can get away with it most weeks. And shout out to Belly Bolt. You don't have to Terra Captain him because he gets toxic now. Thank you, DLC. Um, so he can work around those ground types. Yeah, I think overall this is a really solid team, and I'll give it a B.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next team, we have the Rhode Island Riolus, coached by Ghostman. Lovely Murkrow as the 11th round pick. So he's got Spec at the top of the draft. And I'm going to just go out and say, I think I'm going to give this a C+, because I don't know what Walking Wake is doing here. Like, I don't know what this thing is doing here. I think Spec is really good. Pairing it with Ambipom is actually, like, pretty solid in terms of, like, offensive power. Like, we saw Ambipom in Love Disc, courtesy of yours truly, absolutely dominate. Did it win an award for you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it was like
maybe best D tier. No, that was Yon Mega.
I think
Did I win an award?
I think it was pretty close. I don't know, but
I think I tied with Yon Mega, but we gave it to Yon Mega for the better stat.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Like Ambipom is the truth this gen. I think a Alolan Muck is really, really good with Spectrier. I think Empoleon is sick this gen. I think Mandibuzz is sick this gen. I don't know why the fuck he drafted Murkrow when he has Mandibuzz, but pop off King. If that's your favorite Pokemon, it's 1 point. Who cares? Most of the things with 1 points are just terrible anyway, so whatever. I will say the two things that I do not like about this team. One, I already said it. What the fuck is Walking Wake doing on here? I think Walking Wake got Flip Turn, which like makes it a little bit better. But like, I don't really get it because there's no sun, and it just kind of feels out of place with like everything else that's going on. And your only ground type is Sandslash. So if I play you, when I play you, I will bring a Choice Specs Electrode. You can bet your ass I will, because you just can't get by with a Sandslash as your ground type.
To be fair, he does have Terra Ground Ambipom and Terra Ground Glaceon.
Okay, the Terra Ground Glaceon is doable. I would have maybe liked Terra Ground Virizion too, but the Virizion Terra typings are really interesting to me. I think he said he's never used Terra before, so
that makes sense.
I'm willing to excuse it, but I think like the Terra Captains are like, they're fine. Like that's probably what I would have picked, was those three. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this, like I said, a C+. I think there's a lot of good offense. I think there's some solid defense. Rotom Heat, Alolan Muck, Empoleon, Ambipuzz, or Mandibuzz, Ambipuzz, Ambipuzz. Jesus, man, it's been a day. But
no, you're tired.
We're both tired. We're just getting this video out because you guys complained about it enough. I'm kidding. But yeah, like I think it's like a really good defensive core. I think there are just some offensive inaccuracies that don't make a lot of sense to me, but Spec is terrifying, so overall solid team.
Yeah. I think I would probably give it somewhere in the C range too. Spectrier is something you can never sleep on. I was doing terrible last season in Relicanth, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up Spectrier and then proceed to win, like, what was it, 3 games in a row due to Spectrier.
Would you like to recap the game that started it all?
Oh, whenever I parried you with the Dunsparce the second time?
Yeah, specifically, you parried my Calm Minesweeper that won the game. 2 seasons in a row.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
It's I thought you were still talking.
Oh. I don't know what else to say whenever you analyze the whole team like that.
Okay. Fair enough. You can have the first go with this one.
Who
Go
is it?
ahead. Funny. Good one. Good one. The best part is I know you didn't mean to do that. Lo and fucking behold, who it is.
Who?
Who?
It's who?
Only the
What?
season 1 champion.
Who's on first?
Who is on first?
Yeah, who's on first? Season 1 champion. Picked up Iron Valley. Okay, I love his team. Yeah,
That is all.
yeah. It just has a lot of mons that I am in love with. He has Fez again. I think he had it before, right?
Yeah, he had it last season.
He has Fez again. He has Alamalola again. Alamalola is freaking insane this generation.
Dude, I'm making it
By the
12
way,
points next season. I don't
yeah.
care.
Drafting Chi Yu. I don't know if it got drafted last season. I don't think it did.
It got drafted, but it got dropped.
Okay. Picking up Chi Yu again. It was the top kill leader in season 1 due to me. Pairing it with the Dunsparce like I did. Para everything. I think I don't really like Fez and the Dunsparce on the same team because Fez likes to poison things, and then the Dun. I mean, the Dun can also do a bunch of other stuff. At least for me, I just pair the shit out of everything with it.
Fuck you.
And I really like Hydrapple. I used it a bit in Love Disc and had to drop it because I felt like my team needed something else. But Hydrapple's insane, especially whenever he is Terra to get rid of that 4 times ice weakness. Especially he picked up the Steel Terra type, which makes it to where he resists ice, which is really nice. Metagross hits insanely hard. It's tough fighting for Terra between Metagross and Hydrapple. Either one could have gone for it. Unfortunately, we don't have above 20 points, so you can't do both. So you had to pick one or the other. But Hydrapple's a really good Terra captain, and Iron Valiant does Valiant things.
Yeah, I think this is like an A- draft for me.
I didn't even grade it.
Go for it, fire away.
A.
Perfect. But yeah, like I said, A-. Can we all get a round of applause for not drafting like egregious stall? There's some stall, but it's not egregious. It's just Hydrapple, Alomomola, which granted, Hydrapple is too fucking bulky. Too bulky. This mod is stupid. It does not die to any one hit, especially when it's like no longer a quad weak type. So I think this team is really, really good. I think Valiant plus Chi-Yu is going to be really, really hard for people to stop. Like I said, Alomomola Hydrapple is going to be ridiculous. Donphan is good hazard control. And I actually kind of like the Dunsparce and Fez together because that is a good point. They do overlap each other, but it just kind of comes back to the point where it's like you can't escape both of them. Like you're gonna get chipped by both of them.
Does the Dunsparce get Venoshock?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like it does.
Because that could be fun.
Unless it's not a thing in Paldea decks.
Fuck if I know. I don't play this format.
I
do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like you mostly play this format.
Yeah,
Right now, only play this format.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, I think who drafted a really solid team. Like Valiant is obviously a lot better in Paldea decks. Gets to run Booster. I don't think Booster is the best set. I think Bandit is probably the best set. But yeah, this is just overall a really solid team. I think he has a really good defensive core that can go on the offensive. He's gonna just abuse the shit out of Alomomola. Like we said, he won Season 1 Wi-Fi. He had Alomomola. He has Alomomola in Love Disc. He's just going to draft Alomomola every time. So I think this is a really, really good team. Not much more that needs to be said. Everyone should absolutely fear this team. Let me swap over to the next one. And next up, we have the... There we go. The Roaring Tide. We have Harvey, newcomer, similarly to a couple of other people. So, do you want to start with this, or do you want me to start with this?
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Yay.
Okay.
Sure, it could be my turn. So he gets
But I
gouging
did the
fire.
last one.
That's true. He gets gouging fire at pick 7, which is stupid, by the way. Gouging fire is a fucking monster. So gouging fire, Rotom Wash, I think has some really good synergies there. Like basically the way that you help with gouging fire is you just make it so it can't die. If you can make a team where it doesn't die, you can get a really, really scary team because Gouging Fire's best set, in my opinion, is Bulky Dragon Dance, where, okay, damn, bro, mute button, Jesus,
Sorry.
unedited. Okay, so, fuck. So, Gouging Fire, right? The best set is basically just setting up an end game where they can't kill you. You can just Morning Sun off damage, Dragon Dance in their face, and then eventually you're just too fast and too powerful and you just kill everything. The biggest like issues for Gouging Fire, I think, are Edgequake, because like it's only weak to Rock, Ground, and Dragon. So obviously Edgequake, Rotom helps a ton with Edgequake, so I love that. Kilowattrel for some top end speed, and then Ninetales Alola because he wants to be cringe and set up Veil. Don't appreciate you for that. Speaking of cringe, you also got Umbreon and Skarmory. Um, Unfortunately, Skarmory doesn't get defog, so his only hazard control is Toedscruel and Avalugg, but Avalugg being a Terra Captain, we already talked about that earlier. Really, really solid. Did he make Lycanroc Midnight a Terra Captain?
No, it's only Kilowattrel and Hoopa.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
And something I just want to point out, the Kilowattrel Terras are fine, but I probably would have put Ice on there. Maybe. No, wait, no. He has enough Ice type. He's okay. Never mind. I take back what I said.
Wait. Avalugg isn't a Terra Captain.
No, it's just Kilowattrel.
Brother, what?
I have Avalugg as a Terra Captain.
Okay, looking at the points right now, I think Terra Hoopa makes sense. Terra Hoopa's fine. I honestly wouldn't have gone Terra Kilowattrel. I would have gone Terra Lycanroc and Terra Avalugg. I think that would have been much better for this team.
Sounds cool.
Because at 6 points, Lycanroc Midnight, if you're not Terraing it, I feel like you're losing out on a lot for it. Yeah, like I said, this is like a really solid team. I'm going to give it a B just because I think gouging for the value is pretty ridiculous. There's a lot of bulk, but it really struggles to manufacture physical offense outside of gouging, especially since Lycanroc is not a Terra Captain. So I'll give it a B.
I'm gonna give this thing a B plus. He drafted my boy Toedscruel.
The GOAT.
My favorite Gen 9 mon. Yeah, I don't want to face this team. Ninetales with Aurora Bell plus Gouging Fire is scary. Not hunky. Komala had it last season in the ASL, and it was terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it right now and it's incredible. Like gouging is honestly carrying this team. If gouging wasn't on this team and it was like some other like dragon type, I'm probably giving this like a flat C. But gouging is so good that I'm a believer. Okay.
Believer.
Moving on to the next team. Do you want to start with this?
Moving on to the person that really wanted us to do a draft analysis, BGC.
The reason we're doing it today.
I kid BGC. We were gonna do this
you.
anyway, but I had to heckle you a little bit. I really like BGC's team. Deoxys speed, phenomenal. I feel like King Gambit and Paldea isn't as bad as Nat Dex. We did for some reason allow to Terra last season. My fault.
Okay, it wasn't that bad.
It sucked. Not the mon didn't suck. It sucked facing it.
Prepping, yeah. It was for science, okay?
I forgot where I was.
King Gambit.
King Gambit. It's good. Decidueye Hisui. I've only ever seen it used once by Hutch. He got 0 kills with it.
Hey,
Um,
don't be dissing my boy. Just because I can't use him doesn't mean he isn't good.
I really want to see Decidueye do some things. Ampharos, really nice budget mon. Um, Decently bulky. Um, Interesting Terra Cap. I think that was a really good decision. Allows it to do a lot of things. First instance, we do get to see Pecharunt. I'm
Yes.
excited to see what that thing could do because I don't know what it does besides poison things. Um,
It is
because
bulky
I haven't
as
seen it.
fuck.
Yeah, really bulky. He took Kyurem. He has Kyurem, and he has the better Iron Bundle.
True. OG Iron Bundle.
Yeah.
What would you give this?
Oh, I forgot about that again. B plus.
Okay, fair enough. Um, I'll give it a B plus too. I think Deoxys speed is really, really, really good. I just pray that you do not bring hazards like most of the time, because I think hazards are like such a waste on this mon. Like especially with like boot spam like being so prevalent. I really hope this thing is just like a nasty plot demon because you get any coverage that you want. You get nasty plot. It's the second fastest thing in the game. So Deoxys speed, really good first pick. Like you said, I think King Gambit is a little bit better in Paldea decks. It's not too terrible. I will say that I feel a little bit as though King Gambit will be forced into. No, I don't think it's forced into a defensive role as much because he does have Mudsdale. I think Mudsdale was absolutely pivotal for this team because the biggest thing that like Pecharunt, Deoxys Speed, and King Gambit to some extent all like had issues with. Other than Deoxys Speed, they didn't deal with poisons very well. And they didn't especially deal with steel types very well. Like I remember like talking with BGC during the draft. Um, he wants to really enable Pecharunt. The way you do that is you get rid of the steels, you get rid of the poisons. Had to get Mudsdale on there, so Mudsdale is a great pick for 8 points. I think Mudsdale's really good. Primarina, elite typing in Paldea decks because obviously we don't have Tapu Fini, which is the best Shenpao answer in the game. Primarina's a really good one. Azu's the only other water fairy type in the format. I think Orangaru's solid. I think Ampharos' Terra Captain's really good. I think Delibird's like, why not? What the hell? Let's throw it out there. Because we can run spikes on that thing if we don't want to run it on Deoxys Speed. Perfect. Love it. He told me he has some Delibird tech, so I'm interested. I want to see what that is. Yeah, I think overall some good removal. I think Talonflame still gets defog in Paldea. I know Decidueye for sure does. And then Kyurem is just an awesome piece for this team. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a B. It's just a really good offensive team with a lot of good defensive pieces. Um, I think it lacks a little bit of pivoting for my liking, like Deoxys Speed, no pivoting. King Gambit, no pivoting. Kyurem, no pivoting. Pecharunt, no pivoting. Um, and maybe a little bit of hazard control in terms of like setting hazards. So B or B plus is probably where I fall. I'll say B plus because there's a lot of good things. I'm interested to see how Pecharunt works out. I wanted to try it last season, but unfortunately didn't work out.
Why not?
I was gonna pair it with Great Tusk, but then I got like so on the like Greninja hype train, and I was like gonna kind of sink my points if I did that. So
Oh, did you
I
regret it?
I mean Greninja was good for me, but I think Petra would have been really cool. So kinda. I still want to use that thing, so a little bit.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next pick,
Who's next?
Dravos, an ASL veteran.
Yeah, Dravos.
So we have Dravos, my fellow doc partner in crime, coach of the Bellingham Blazikins. Dravos went ahead and started out the draft. The one thing he really wanted was Palafin. He got it. I know there was a lot of people talking about Palafin, myself included. But yeah, he gets Palafin. He gets Blaziken, mascot pick. We fucking love it. Love to see that. And he gets Monkey Dory. I know you don't have the
God.
fondest the fondest memories of Monkey Dory.
Yeah,
But
Brad. Okay, so I just want to say
go
this
ahead,
for real quick.
pop off.
So when me and Brad were making my team, he mentioned picking up Monkey Dory, and I almost vomited. Um, that's why I have Grafii.
Yeah, fair enough. It's half the
Continue.
price. Yeah, I think Monkey Dory, a little bit of a fraud, but I think in this context for what Palafin wants to do, I think it's really good. Obviously, Toxic Chain being able to get that chip, it's got multiple ways to pivot through U-turn, through parting shot. Um, it does lack a little bit in the coverage department, so I will say that's kind of an issue. But as long as you understand Monkey Dory's like deficiencies, I think it's fine. I think Grimmsnarl is really, really good for Palafin. I like Raikou. I will say I hate his defense, and this is pure preference. I think Quagsire and Fortress would
He
bore
has
me to death. Yeah, he is Grimmsnarl.
where?
Are we looking at the same thing?
What? I see. I don't see Grimmsnarl.
It's right below Monkey Dory.
That's Raikou.
Come look on the draft page. It might not be like updated properly.
Oh, did he make transactions?
I think I fixed all of them. I think he still has this. I don't know. Either way, if we say something is completely wrong, oh well, whatever. I think Arbalova is pretty good. I had it back in ASL season 18. Had a lot of success with that thing. Mysteria captains are Noivern with flying normal steel, phenomenal. Arbalova with grass, fairy, poison. I would have preferred it to be normal over grass. Like I said, I don't like Terra grass. And then Grumpig with fairy, ice, and fairy. I think Grumpig is really, really good value pick down there. Um, I think Mischievous is also a good value pick. Speed Boost Blaziken, I've thought is kind of a fraud, but we'll see. Dravis loves Blaziken, so we'll see how he makes it work. But yeah, overall, I think this is like a really, really powerful team. Like Palafin, Blaziken, Raikou. That's a lot of offense, especially with like the pivoting power of Grimmsnarl. Um, but we'll see. I'm not a fan of Fortress. I'm not a fan of Quagsire, but that's just preference. I think they synergize pretty well together. Just passive for my liking, but overall, really good team. I'm gonna probably give this one a B plus. I think.
I'm trying to figure out where Grimmsnarl is.
Let me look at the rosters page.
I am looking at the roster page.
Oh, it's probably the way that the draft formats the way it ports it over to the roster
What
page.
what's in place of Grimmsnarl on this page?
On the draft page, it's here. On the rosters page, there's two Raikous.
Oh, oh,
That'll do it.
that'll do it.
Let's fix that real
Fixing
quick.
things on the fly. Um, what did you grade this?
I graded it a B plus.
B plus. He drafted Blaziken. We gave it speed boost, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
gave
hope
it
so for 16 points.
And he has Palafin. My brain shot because I was trying to look for Grimmsnarl. So
Bro is lost looking for Grimmsnarl.
I'll give it a B plus. I can't think.
Actual brain damage from finding Grimmsnarl.
All right, moving on to Rhydnon. He drafted Zamazenta. I tried it. I hated it. Hopefully he could do something with it because I hate it and I hope he can use it because he probably doesn't hate it.
Hope
Um, nice Terra captains with Superior and Toucanon. I fucking love Toucanon. Such a good mon.
Earth the Brett.
Yeah, Latios.
Demon.
The demon.
Reigning champion.
Yeah. Skeledirge does its dirge. It dirges.
A doobie Durgeon.
Dirge. And then we got Klefki opening things with them keys.
Yep. Keys are very useful.
Yeah. Never know what the keys are for. Don't know where the lock is, but it opens them.
Exactly.
And Sandy Shocks, uh,
Only a few more teams.
yeah, my brain shot.
Okay, I got this. I'm gonna give this an A minus. This is a really, really good draft in my opinion. I think Zamazenta is really, really good. I think you just have to use it more in the late game. It's definitely like an acquired taste. Not necessarily something I would draft. I think it's just really good. But I think Latios' generation is fucking insane. Luster Purge is crazy. I think Sandy Shocks is great. Superior's great. He doesn't do Terra Stellar, which I actually kind of prefer him not doing Terra Stellar. Maybe instead of Water. But I like Terra Fire on there for sure. Blastoise is solid. Quillfish Asui is solid. Toucannon. I've heard a lot of hype about this thing. I'm ready to see this thing cook. 3-point Terra Captain. Can never go wrong with that. Skeledirge, always super nice to have. It's probably the best on a Wearmon other than Clefable, though I kind of think it's better than Clefable these days. I don't know. That's debatable. Probably not, but it's debatable.
Best on a Wearmon is obviously Crocolore.
Okay, well, actually, for the value, you're, like, not wrong. Crocolore is so stupid for, like, 4 points. Klefki, I think, is solid. It really sucks that it doesn't have Defog, which is true for a lot of this team. Like, Superior doesn't have Defog. Latios doesn't have Defog. I don't know if Toucannon has it. Maybe. Because his only removal is Blastoise, which is solid removal. And then he has Terra Calyrex. Terra Calyrex, phenomenal. I think Terra Fairy is really, really good on Calyrex. Like, for a one-pointer, like, obviously it's a Calyrex. It's not gonna light the world on fire, but it's a one-pointer. It gets stored power. Interesting stuff there. So yeah, I think this is a really, really solid team, top to bottom. Latios, Zamazenta, kind of similar to what you were trying to do last season with like Latios in Zamazenta. So I think overall this is a really, really good team. Offensively dominating, maybe a little bit weak on the defensive side of things, but I think Klefki you can kind of just plug into any matchup because obviously you have access to Magnet Rise, and it's really easy to make Klefki just blanket check a lot of things. So yeah, overall I like it. Moving on to the what is this? The 14th? Yeah, the 14th roster. We have our Season 2 Relicanth reigning champion, Quinn. Quinn started with us last season, newcomer, won it. He's now also in Love Disc Division. He goes ahead and drafts Great Tusk with the 3rd overall pick. First 2 picks were pretty chalk, as you're going to see here. Great Tusk, maybe not the 3rd best mod in the format, but I can respect it. Great Tusk is awesome. Had it last season. Not my type of mon, but I can see why people love it so much. It's just the best roll compression in the format. It's better roll compression than Iron Treads, as much as I was saying earlier that I kind of like Treads more. I think Archaludon is really, really good with it. I'm not a Vaporeon fan. Don't think Vaporeon's very good. But with Archaludon, I can totally see why he'd be all over that. Armarouge, pretty sneaky for breaking the grass types. That Great Tusk would maybe be a little bit iffy against. Let me see his Terra captains real quick, just to make sure I don't mess anything up. He is Terra on Armarouge and Terra on Diancie. Diancie's probably the best low-tier fairy. I will say it's very confusing that he drafted Diancie and Comfey. I don't really know what was going on there.
You did?
Because
there it is at the bottom. I thought I lost it again.
Not another Grimmsnarl. These
There's
fairies
2 now, by the way.
These fairies keep getting away from you. But yeah, so I think Comfey and Diancie is a little like, why? Because I also don't understand Comfey with Vaporeon. I feel like they kind of do the same thing. But other than that, like the low tiers are awesome. Like I love Bramble, I love Eel, I love Weezing. I think Weavile at 14 points is really good value. I was looking at Weavile. So yeah, I think really good at hazard control. I think there's good special offense. Special offense is a little lacking outside of Armor Rouge. Um, yeah,
What do you mean? We got our count done.
that's true. Our Chaladon does it like a drug. What do I give this? I'll give this. I'll give it an A minus. There are a couple things that I don't like on it, but overall, this is like a phenomenal draft. So
Yeah. Looking at this, it kind of has the same situation as my team. There's like 7 things that could do really good as a Terra captain.
yeah.
I think he chose well with Armor Rouge and Diancie. Armor Rouge, I really like seeing things happen with. I don't remember who it was. I think it was who. Was it who? I think who cooked up some cool Armor Rouge stuff in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always like seeing Armor Rouge do cool things because it's a cool mod. Great Tusk is scary. Or Chaladon, that thing is so tough to kill. Weavile, budget Chempao. And then I think I agree with the Comfey diet and the Vaporeon and all that. I'd probably give it a B plus myself.
Fair enough.
That's where we are.
Yeah, awesome team. Quinn's gonna use it well, like we said. Season 2 champion, so everyone should be fearing this team currently. What is the next team? Do you want to take us away with Fist's team?
Yeah, and then moving on, we have the return of Fist Your Doom, why your logo why, but I get it. It's a logo. You drafted Dragapult. I had to convince Lily not to let him have Chien-Pao, because he was gonna draft Chien-Pao for the 3rd time. But yeah, good thing he doesn't have Chien-Pao because I didn't want to see that on him. But now we got to deal with Lily with Chien-Pao. So, fuck.
I was gonna say, is that much better?
No. Yeah, he drafted Dragapult, Samurott, Braylon, Mercering, Tentacruel, Magmar, Zapdos, Screamtail, Excadrill, Spinouse, Hippopotas. His hazard removal is really nice. Excadrill, Tentacool, both spinners. Hazard setting with Samurott, insane. Also got hazard setting with Tentacruel. His hazard situation is just amazing all around. Zapdos, amazing point guard mon. Great budget Terra Captain with Magmar. Probably, I would argue, the best Terra Captain down there.
Yeah, for value.
Up in the air with those two. Spidops is interesting. Grabbed it at 2 points there. It can do some things. It got webs. It can hit pretty hard with first impression. Don't sleep on that. Yeah, I give it a minus.
Well, I'm going to put another line through that minus. I'm going to give this an A plus. It'll be my only A plus. I do not give A pluses often. But I think just top to bottom, this roster is just stupid, man. Like, Dragapult, arguably one of the best mons in the format. I think it's Dragapult, Chien-Pao, and Gouging, but you can make the argument for any of the 3. I think Dragapult's awesome. Samurott Hisui is so good with it. We saw Brad win a championship with it and loved this last season. I think Breloom is solid. As a Terra Captain, that Terra Fighting Mach Punch is going to be hitting like a truck. I think Ursaring is really good value. Also as a Terra Captain, Terra Normal, Fairy, and Ghost. So that thing's going to be super bulky. Like you highlighted, the hazard control is just phenomenal. With Tentacruel can just... I mean, it's not even his only spinner. Like, he also has Drill down the board. Like, but he can set up spikes in so many different ways. Magmortar, another great Terra Captain. Like, he absolutely nailed these Terra Captains. He got them all right. Zapdos is my favorite defensive mon in Paldea. Pair it with Screamtail. It's just gross. And then Drill is just awesome offense that really helps out Dragapult. Like, Drill plus Dragapult is really, really good. I think Hippopotas is fine. Like, obviously, there's nowhere he was fitting like a Sand Setter on this team because I think the only Sand Setter is Tyranitar and Sandaconda.
My Sandaconda don't
Yeah, I yeah, I think that's right. So he checks all the boxes here. The speed tiers are good. The Terra types are perfect. The Terramons are perfect. Hazard control is perfect. Like this is an A+ draft. This is the best draft. Um, I don't want to say it's not particularly close, but I can very clearly and confidently give this an A+. Okay, now to our last draft. We have the first overall pick. Like I said, we're going in reverse order here. With the first overall pick, the plus minus Steel Rollers, coached by Lily, picked up Shen Pao. A very solid pick. I think Shen Pao is a fucking monster. Azumarill was not picked either, interestingly. So the only water fairy type is Primarina. I don't even know if they play each other on the dock. I would have to check it, but
Best Chimpao answer is taking Chimpao yourself.
and then also taking Corviknight. So
Yep.
I think Lily really understood what to do with Shen Pao. I will say shout out to Sceptile for going round 2. That was not something I was expecting.
So, okay, fun fact. He wanted to do Sceptile round 1.
Of course he did. It's Lily.
But I was like, take Chimpao, please. I don't want to see it on the same roster for 3 seasons in a row.
I promise you Sceptile will be there round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he makes Sceptile's Terra Captain, Grass, Ground, and Electric. I think that's fine. The Ground and Electric are perfectly fine to me. He also has Goodra as a Terra Captain, Dragon, Poison, Water, probably what I would have put on that, and Minun with Electric, Fairy, and Water. Spoiler alert, we already saw Minun wall the shit out of a Raging Bolt, which was really hilarious to see. Yeah, I think this is a really, really good team. You have phenomenal hazard control with Glim. You have Corviknight. Maybe it's a little unfortunate that your only removal is Corviknight, but hey, that's better than most teams. Sorry, Glimmora also gets removal. I just forget because Mortal Spin is like not a good move, to be honest. Because the steel types are coming in on Glimmora anyways, so you can't even click Mortal Spin and spin the hazards away. But yeah, I think Tauros Fire, really good value. Goodra's good value. I'm interested to see how he uses Mimikyu. I would have kind of expected for him to like maybe put it as a Terra Captain, but I get not. So we'll see how that one works out. Thwacky is obviously there just to enable the Sceptile. And then not sure I'm the biggest fan of Gastrodon. Like I know Swampert got picked up. I would have way preferred Swampert in this slot, so Gastrodon's fine. I think Meloetta is solid as well. So this is probably just a B+, A- on the fence. I'll say A- because of Shen Pao. Shen Pao's ridiculous, but yeah, this is just a really, really good draft. Like it's Lily's a great coach. He's gonna use it very well. There's a lot of pivoting in this. There's a lot of hazard control, and it's Shen Pao that you have to worry about. I will say, special offense is a little bit lacking, but it's fine. It's a good team. It's a really good team.
I'm giving this draft an F.
Whoa.
Because
Whoa.
I don't get to face Lily, and I'm pissed about it.
Should have given TCP an F then.
No, I can't give TCP an F.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But I give Lily's team an F because I don't get to face Lily, and he's my mentor now, and I don't get to face Lily. And I'm mad about it.
And that is all. Perfect.
And that is all.
Expert analysis. We get paid to do this, clearly. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We, again, through this, I had the idea of doing this now like an hour and a half ago, which, for reference, this is like been running for 70 minutes, so very spur of the moment. But yeah, like I said, hope you guys all enjoyed. I don't think we'll do any more content for the season. Maybe like power rankings here and there, but probably don't count on it. Usually we were just draft analysis, and we'll see you next season. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say, Brett? A man of few words. Did you do
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.